Oh, God. Welcome to episode 9 of Yorkshire Tea XP, brewed in the heart of Yorkshire by 3 MFL-obsessed managers, Rootcoors, Big Mr K and Bruce Leet. We're not pundits, we're not pros, we're just 3 lads with a shared obsession for progression, tactics and agency building in MFL. Each week we'll aim to bring you laughs, insights and chaos and cuppers, tracking our journeys from raw to rare and beyond. So, other than the start, thank you for that, Mr. K. How is everybody?
I don't know what I did. What did I do?
Slurping.
What? Hey, hang on a minute. I can edit that out. That was entirely the purpose.
Yeah.
So the fact is, no one's going to hear that. But okay, yeah.
But I'm hearing it when I'm starting, and you go,
Oh.
I can edit out. We can all edit all parts out. But yeah, just that. I was just getting ready, and I just heard the slurp. I mean, it might be your thing now, though, because I think you've done that the last two pods.
I don't think I've only done it once.
Well, really.
Today.
How are we, anyway? Bruce, you must still be happy, even from last week and this week.
I know, 3 wins in a row for United. I know some people were having a go because I'm from Hull and they say I should support Hull. But no, I'm a United fan. I've always been a United fan. And I will explain it, because I know we was having some banter in the Wendeck Discord. I will explain it. When I was younger, I was like Kev, because Kev supports Liverpool, doesn't he? But he also supports Aberdeen because he's from there. And I used to be like that when I was younger. I used to support United, but I'd also follow Hull. Back when they were in fucking Division 3. Like, do you remember that, when they had, like, Danny Brown and Mark
Boothby
Haley?
times and stuff, yeah.
Boothby. I used to live on North Road.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
So, like, yeah, I used to follow Hull, but then the problem was when they got to the Prem the first time. You remember when Winders scored the penalty in the playoff?
Yeah.
And they got to the Prem the first time. No one liked Hull until they got to the Prem, and then suddenly, oh, how about them Tigers? Oh, yeah, I'm a diehard Hull fan. And I was like, fuck off. Lost interest. Lost interest in Hull completely ever since then. So, yeah, United's my team. I don't give a shit what anybody says.
So the fake fans ruined it for you.
They did. They absolutely did. I followed Hull when they were at the bottom, when they were nearly fucking relegated to the conference. I followed them then. And then all the fake fans came in and I was just like, no, thank you. Not interested.
So you went to Man United with all their...
No. I was always United. I was always United.
Well, you followed Hull. Got it.
I followed Hull. And then it was just like, nah, cut Hull off because that's bullshit. I'm not going to be any of them knobheads. So, yeah, just to explain that, because Jimbo was giving me shit. I don't have to come from there to support there. That's just weird. That's just weird.
You can support whoever you want, mate. Absolutely,
yeah.
whoever you want.
Exactly.
Mr. K, how are you? You good?
Yeah, I'm all good, mate. All good. Steady away. Nice chilled weekend. Got a couple more days off work. So, yeah, enjoying a bit of a break. And, yeah, it's been an interesting week. MFL.
10-mile walk yesterday?
Cool.
Yeah. Nice big walk with the missus and the dogs yesterday.
10
Good old
mile?
walk. Yeah.
Mile?
One of the, yeah. We don't. Every time we get opportunity, if I've got my daughter, like on one of the weekends I've got for the majority of it, we usually go on a nice big walk somewhere and take the dogs with us. And we stopped off at a nice countryside pub at the end of it and just grabbed a little bit of something
I
to
thought
eat.
you meant
and then came home
10k.
again. No, mile.
10 mile? Jesus Christ. Fair play. I thought you meant 10k.
Oh, honestly, my missus can find these random apps that show like dog walks, like in the most obscene random places. But then you're just in the middle of nowhere, and there's so much countryside, obviously, in and around Yorkshire. You can't go wrong.
Yorkshire's good for that. Yorkshire's really good for that.
Nice.
So yeah, we went for a good old walk yesterday. Cleared the cobwebs out of it because it was cold.
Yeah.
But yeah, good old walk. Got back and basically had to bath our dogs, and by God, it was black. But also, I've got like a little, fairly small dog, little cockapoo called Frank. My missus's dog called Arthur is a tiny little sausage dog, and his tiny little legs doing all that walking every time. But he's a right little trooper. But yeah, all good, thanks, mate.
Good. So we're all good. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you for asking. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. We know what you've been doing. You've been messaging us about the pod all week.
Yeah, literally always.
As always.
Always. Now, I've had a right busy week at work, but hopefully I've got one more week like that, and then it should be a bit quieter. Hopefully, so that'll be nice. Cool. Well, we'll just dive straight into it. Let's just get straight into it. So, which one of you chaps would like to do your season 9 progress and checking of your clubs so far? I know we're about 9-10 games in now, so we're a third of the way through the season. So it'd be good. Which one of you wants to go first?
Well, I go first and cover Yorkshire,
Go
our
for it.
team. Yeah. So let me just share my screen. It's been an interesting season. I've got some gripes. Some frustration has been building with certain stuff. But as you can see, Yorkshire Tea and XP, we are top. We've only conceded 1 goal. The goal we conceded yesterday was the keeper decided to push it to the striker, like we were talking before before we went live. Keepers coming to collect the ball and just pushing it to the striker, like a nice little assist. And that was the first goal we conceded, and that was yesterday. So that was a bit annoying. But we are absolutely smashing it. We play these guys tomorrow, and then the game back after the mid-season break, we play them again. So if we can get 2 good results there, we could be quite clear in this league. But it's all going well. The cup is interesting. We are 1 point behind. And I wouldn't say we've struggled, but the games we lost, it was here, you can see them right here. 1-0, 1-0. And then we drew with the other guy 0-0 today. It's been odd. Whether we qualify or not, that isn't my main target with this team. My main target with this team is to get them to Spark as Flint champions. So, well underway with that. The Fortress has been frustrating. Really frustrating. And I think I've been thinking about this. I think this experiment has hit its ceiling, because in Spark, when you've got like a full defence squad and you've got a striker who's only got 60 finishing, it's not so bad in Spark. It's all right. You can get away with it. In Ice, it's very hard to get a striker with enough shooting and with enough defence to make it viable. And my main problem has been scoring goals. And, we were here last time we were talking. We lost to these guys here, VV Emmen, and as you can see, these guys are near the bottom. They're 11th. And then we went on a decent run, draws. Drew against top of the league, first one to take points off them. And then we lost to Superstars Club, who were also in the relegation zone. And it just doesn't make... The only thing that makes sense is we're not scoring. We're creating tons of chances, and we're just not putting the ball in the back of the net. So I'm thinking that this is probably... I mean, I'll see how it is at the end of the season. Obviously, we're only halfway through. But I'm starting to think that this experiment has reached its ceiling. So I'll probably try to move this team on at the end of the season and maybe start a different experiment with a different stat next season. But yeah, it's frustrating. It's just really frustrating because no one seems to be able to score.
You're still running the 5 at the back with that one, yeah?
Yes, same. That's also something else that might be a factor. The 5-4-1 just might not be as effective anymore. I know towards the end of last season it started to tail off, and it might just be the engine's changed enough where it's just not strong enough now. With Castle, we're in the promotion spots. We're doing quite well. There was one game. This was one of the things that really frustrated me. We lost here to Columbus Olympics 2-1. And as you can see, they're top and completely undefeated. But I felt so hard done by this game because I had to play my C rotation, like my weakest rotation, which is fair enough. But in the game, we scored. We were in complete control. And then in the 47th minute, my left back, who isn't even my bloody player, he's a lone player, got sent off in the 47th minute. And we ended up conceding 2 goals. We just couldn't hold on for that long. So I felt really, really hard done by this game. I really did. I felt we should have won that. But other than that, our form's been all right. We lost in the cup again, rotation. We are pretty much through in the cup. But it's okay. We're doing well. Last team,
really good form there.
We're doing okay. Other than the cup defeat, but that one game against top of the league, I felt, I was pretty angry about that. We'll come now to Mamba, and I want to have a little bit of fun here, because I watched the Ramble on Wednesday, and SR Monkey, he was top at the time, and he put out a little jab, like in jest, obviously, and he was like, "Oh, Bruce, you're all the way down there, come and join me up here at the top." Well, I'm up here at the top, Monkey. Where you at, man? Where you gone? Where you gone? As you can see, that's because I beat them 1-0 last night. I was very happy with that result. And it's a fair result as well, because I'd say if we look at the stats, I fully deserved it. Like, pretty much shut them down, created tons of chances. We did really well. We do play top tomorrow. So I've got a full rested squad. I'm rested for the cup game today. We are, again, already through in the cup. So fully rested, ready to go against top of the league. And hopefully that will put me back top. But this division is crazy. Like you can see from 7th to 1st, there's just 4 points in it. And it's really... Because like you've got to rotate. But when I rotate, it's like everybody's so good. And what I'm noticing as well, because I'm coming up to look at my next opponent and they're coming up to play me and they're fully rested. Like their best 11's fully rested. And it seems to be every single bloody game and it's pissing me off. My wife says I should take it as a compliment. And I guess I sort of should, but it's really annoying. Like playing your backup squads against me. Yeah. For fuck's sake, just... ease my stress levels a little bit, but everybody seems to have like their best squad against me. Everyone seems to be fully rested against me. So yeah, we're still doing well, but like I said, it's so tight. Anybody can take points off.
That guy in 7th must be like real frustrated. I mean, it's like 6. Is that 5, 6 draws in a row? 6 draws.
Yeah. 6 draws. Yeah, it's just like I said. Everybody can take points off everybody. No game is safe. You can't. I mean, apart from these bottom couple, everybody else is just like. Anybody could win. You could draw. You could drop points any point. It's so tight. But as you can see, it's going well. We had this little blip here against Victoria where we lost 1-0. Again, it's just because I had to rotate and that happened. But we got this massive win here against SR Monkey. So I'd just like to shout back out, SR Monkey, come back and join me at the top, mate. What you doing all the way back down there? What you doing, lad? Come on, get back up here. So yeah, it's going okay. There's just frustrations I've got with the game, I think. But I'm not going to start ranting because that's not going to help anybody. But there are slight frustrations with stuff going. But it's you're like, oh, you're winning. You're in the playoffs with nearly all your teams. But yeah, it's other things.
I know we're going to come on to it in a bit with mid-season plans, but I'd be interested to know what your plans are. For the one you're playing 5 at the back, and if you're just going to ride out for the season, or you're thinking maybe I'll give it a go. But
well, that's the thing as well, because the other thing I thought is I could just like say I've got Randall Little who's on loan, right, at Adam's team. If I took him and put him in there, he'd score a shitload of goals, but it wouldn't fit the experiment.
Right, okay.
And that's the problem. It's the experiment is, this is how we play. We're all high defence everywhere at the cost of other stats and just see what happens. And I think ice is probably the limit for a full defence squad, because you can't get strikers with good striking and good defence. It's just next to impossible. It's next to impossible to find them. So I think ice is the feeling. Oh, no, we'll stay up. We'll stay up. We're too good defensively. We create too many chances. And like I said, the losses I've had, 2 of them were against teams near the bottom, whereas the team at the top who had a 100% record, I drew 0-0 with them. Like, it's crazy. So yeah, I'm just going to ride it out, see what happens. But I do think this is probably the ceiling for this experiment. Not that defending is very, very important. This experiment has shown me that defending is a very, very important stat. But if it's just defending, there's a ceiling. And I'm sure there'll be ceilings for all the other stats. Like, you can only get by so far, apart from pace. Pace will, you could...
Pace trumps everything.
Pace trumps everything, I think.
Mr. K, do you want to show yours? Thanks for that, Bruce. Appreciate it. Mr. K?
Yeah. Well, obviously, as we discussed last week, we'll go through.
You could do about 3 teams, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I was actually just having a look at sorting out some teams for tomorrow, because a busy day tomorrow. So let's jump into it.
What was that little add-on you had? Was it part of the site?
Oh, no, it's not part of the site. This is MFL Leaks extension, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, MF Leaks, and what it'll do if you go to a match here, it will do like it will track their recent form, their preferred tactic out of the last 5 games, and then obviously a breakdown of their players.
Wow.
Hold on a moment. That's like a cheat code in itself, surely.
I assume you've seen the one with when you go to your own agency.
Yeah, you've had that on stream before. Yeah, I've not seen that on the right-hand side.
To be fair, I usually turn it off. Yeah, it's if you go to a match tactic, which I was doing it for my Spark team, which I wasn't going to go into because, well, as predicted, that it's a joke in terms of the strength of the squad.
How have you lost?
Well, it is. I showed you it earlier in the season. They just had an awful game. It was this one here.
That one.
Yeah, that one. And it was just some horrible goalkeeping on top of everything else. Yeah. But yeah, that's what that is, this little pop-up thing here that pops up. So, if we go into it, I'm going to show Keto, because I'm happy with how Keto are getting on at the moment. Managed to sort of get the season going a bit more, because I think they're fairly strong in terms of this league. If I go to, what is it, Stone League 54, was that? Stone 54. Yeah, I just want to see how strong they were in the pre-season billings, because I don't know if you've used MFL stats for, I think you'd linked it previously. What I like about it, though, is you get these little things here. So most improved, youngest squad, top goal scorer, top passer, top goalkeeper. Most improved usually is how much progression a team has had. Okay. So that's interesting to see. So Keto weren't where they were predicted to be. It's fairly tight up there, but we were a bit further down. But anyway, going back to Keto, turned it around, kicking on quite nicely. I've got a player in here who I'm probably going to promote in terms of mid-season plans, in that the high, who I got fairly late on, there it is, he's progressed and gained this season. He's up to 83 now. He just keeps ticking over with his stats. I mean, he's 31. He was minted at 28 though, so I think it was one of these in a pack. He's got the newer ID number, so I might be promoting him and moving things around. But ticking on really nicely with Keto. Very happy with those. These are a lot of your guys. I have been leaning into 2 striker formations now. So if we go
I did see Little's been performing now. He's been banging.
Because there you go. You've got 11 games, 15 goals now.
Yeah, that's the amount of Little I know.
Problem is I've only got 2 strikers in this squad, so that's going to be potentially something I'll look into, because I'm not too overly invested in rev share and how much I'm giving away for this club. So I've got a bit of breathing room, because I'll meet contract requirements, and 50% of rev share here will be fine for me, no problem. Other one that's going well, and then I'll do one that's not going so well. I'll just touch upon White Rose Peacocks. Again, this was supposed to be, what's that, Stone League, Bronze League 1. They were predicted fairly low. Bronze 1, I think they were predicted 9th or 10th or something in this league, and we're kicking on and fighting up there. 10th, predicted 10th. Getting a good amount of progression in this team as well, because it's a fairly well-balanced squad. Not scoring as many goals as I'd like to see us scoring, because we should be scoring more. Especially in the games that we have. I mean, case in point was our cup game today, where felt quite hard done by, truth be told. It's been a bit of a mixed bag. I mean, we scored a penalty which juiced our XG, but we had just a lot of opportunities, but it was the amount of shots off target. We weren't making their goalkeeper only made 1 save. So it is what it is. That's the struggle bus with that one here. And the one that's not going well is my Midlands MFC team. I feel so variance and hard done in this team throughout the league. We've picked up 3 draws, 6 defeats, and we're on 0 wins. And start of the season we were getting pumped, but now, as you might well see, getting beat in the league, because I'm having to prioritise a little bit. We are just not getting the rub of the green. We really aren't in this one. I've watched so many games. I'm like, this has started really well. First half's going well, second half's going well, and we'll just concede out of nowhere. Sat at the end of the game. I don't know which one it is, because I just sit there quite often. Yeah, I mean, we're creating chances again, and it's just a couple of fairly direct passes, and they're in. You're talking about the 5-4-1. I have had to roll it out here a few times, and it has done reasonably well, but not perfect. Yeah. So yeah, it's been a bit of a mixed bag on that one. In the cup?
Because your cup look all right.
I think we're doing all right in the cup, but again,
you're not out of it.
When you not out of it, I think we play these guys next. I can't remember, truth be told. I think it's these guys that we're playing next in the cup. It shows up here somewhere.
Yeah.
Who are we playing? Yeah, we're playing them. So it's in our hands. We win that, we're through. But overall, not going all well in the cups. Silver team's still doing well. I'm not going to go into loads of detail, but we're sitting in fourth. We've lost our last couple of games. They are ridiculously stacked for a silver team. It's ridiculous. And we were hard done by to lose 2-0. And then last night, it just didn't click. I think I could have played this game 10 times and won the lion's share of it. Last night, it didn't work out. So it is what it is. We were forecast 10th, and we're currently 8 points away from the relegation playoff. So I think we got last season... What did we get last season? Was it 30 points? 29 points last season we got. So yeah, that's the aim. Stay up. That's all it is. It's all about on this one. And I've still got my 3 guys transfer listed, those youngster ones. Got them on the market. I don't think they'll sell. They're deliberately priced in a way that they're unlikely to sell. But I can't stop but look at the club marketplace constantly.
I've been looking at
There's been a lot of $45 ones coming up this week. There was one that was up at one point for $22.
What?
22?
Yes, $22. I think it was someone selling it to someone else they were buying someone else's license and they were selling theirs a bit cheaper. It was like a bit of an exchange, like a higher tier license, low tier license for 22. Yeah, I know. Because I almost got them.
If I'd been on,
I almost got it.
Yeah, I was going to say
they were here. They were second here, so there was a club that came up after it, and I got on it, I'd paid for it, and then it just got the transaction couldn't be completed sort of piece.
Nice
so
guys.
So close. But the thing is, if I'd picked them up and then the guys had messaged me, explain what they're doing, I was like, guys, use Floaty. Yeah, totally. I'll transfer it back. We'll sort it out. But I was like, I couldn't believe it when I missed it. But I think that's what it was. I think it was a bit of a trade sort of going on. So yeah,
transfer it back for an admin fee, right?
I wouldn't be that difficult with them, but I think even on Floaty now, if you do like a sale of a pack or things like that, they still charge 20% as well on Floaty, as well as they do on site. So you don't get a cheaper pack sale through Floaty anymore. You do see that hefty charge. Because I bought that rare pack last drop, thinking that you hadn't managed to get yours. And because I found out you had, I just reached out to people in the DAO if anybody was interested to sell it at face value. And I did that because Workspace was interested, so I let him just buy it at face value, basically. But there was a 20% tax on it.
So you lost 20%?
Effectively, yeah.
Oh, that's a bit shit. Like,
not the end of the world.
I would have paid
the price. It wasn't his fault.
No.
It wasn't his fault. I didn't realise until I'd already accepted the transaction that was the case. And it's just one of them. It's not the end of the world. Bygones be bygones. Yeah, exactly. But I think it's worth people knowing if they're going to be using Floaty or selling that it's there. But if you've not got things transfer listed, it used to be like 2.5% tax.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is now if you try and do these sorts of things, if that's any different like buying a player through Floaty, but hey ho, people will work out weird and wonderful ways. Actually, I won a free common player on one of the Wendirt streams, and it was from Zooturt, and Zooturt found a way that basically someone else had put on Discord, and effectively he transferred it to my account. That were it. He literally messaged me, it's in your account now.
Yeah, I've seen that.
He said, oh, it's in your account now. I had a look and it was there. I was like, that's so much better. So much easier. But yeah. Cool. Anyway, Root, over to you.
Cool. Right, thank you for that, Mr. K. Let's have a look. So, we'll do the trial club first, so everybody can see how that's getting on. So, yeah, they're flying pretty well. Second in the league, only lost one game. I'm having a similar thing towards the end of these cup runs, like you said, where I'm just losing in the cup. But we're top, we're going to go through. But last couple of games, just really close games, but I'm not sure why. But we just.
Are you going to upgrade this club?
If we get into, I love the logo as well, so I might.
Can you go back to the cup table for a second? I wanted to just look at the numbers. Goals for, goals Bruce. Against. Yeah. What have you been doing?
I don't do defending.
Evidently,
we'll score one more than you.
What's going on?
I think it'll be interesting, Bruce, to see what not what the offer is, but how it works. You know, if there's a whole thing to it, an whole orchestration and a discount or whatever. I think we'll do it, and we'll probably just do maybe put it in a pod at one of our pods or whatever, and do it as a big maybe a showcase thing, and then. If we do it, though, I'd want to carry on what we did this time, where we're getting the community players in the club. So that'd be the proviso of keeping it. I wouldn't want to keep it for me, if that makes sense. But I'd keep it as a community, one where we've got the YTXP one, which is ours, and then this would be the community. I'll do that. That's absolutely fine. Yeah, but in the league, look, this is the point. In the league, we've only conceded 6 and we scored 37. So it's not that we don't have a very good defence, but it just seems that in the cup. And do you know what? As you know, how I rotate, and I was talking about it in the week, is like in this team slightly different, but I don't have worse players really when they come in. Maybe 1 or 2, like overall rating. So it's weird how in the cup we're performing so different. Anyway, Downtown Cowboys doing okay in the league. Like a couple of losses here, wins. We actually got a win in the cup, which isn't too bad. I'm not really worried where these ones land this time. They kind of just was like, I got the license just before the season started, as we mentioned before. So as long as I can keep them in this division, I'll be fine. And then I'll figure out what happens with my other 2 clubs, which is then what will lead to what happens with this. Again, in the cup, we're through, so that's fine, even though we're second. So we'll go through in the cup. So we'll take that. It's weird that this team is the hardest one to rotate because I've got slightly different players. Like in my Rum Lads and my Dockside, you know, the positions of the players, they're all very similar, and this one's slightly different. I tried to do something different. So it rotates similarly, but it does catch me out now and then. But I can actually do a lot more tactic testing with this club because of that, so it kind of is the way it is. Dockside flying, so yeah, we beat the second in the league, whoever it was, a few days ago. These Kings, so we beat these. Was it today? Actually? No, yesterday we beat them, so we beat them. We're obviously on a good run with these, no problem. Obviously, again in the cup, a little bit hesitation there, but not too bad, and we're flying again. Only conceded 7, so we're not conceding a lot of goals. Scored 30, so scored 37, so not too bad in that. And then yeah, through on the cup at the top, so that's fine. So when I'm saying like cup form, it's weird. Even though we're going through, I do find like the game seemed to play out differently. It's like if I played them in the league, would they play better? I don't know, but I'm happy with how they're going. So everything, and then Rum Lads also happy. So we haven't lost yet, but we've dropped points a few too many times against teams we like shouldn't drop.
Only 4 conceded. Only 4 conceded. You're smashing it, Root.
Yeah,
this season, mate.
I'm doing all right this season, but we are. But the points dropped are like frustrating because like dropping this as a draw here is fine, but then like some of these lower teams, like this team here, we couldn't get the goal, and I just don't know why. And I don't remember what the stats were.
Very low scoring engine, this one.
Yeah, I mean, they were better than us as well. I don't know if it's down to formation or what, but we didn't even got rotated striker, 1 rotated centre-back, and then the rest of it's pretty much full strength. But yeah, I think this season my teams are doing really, really well. I think I've got my 4-1-2-1-2 narrow where I want it to be for this engine. So, and I think it's just because I did a lot of tests at the beginning on you guys, basically going, start from scratch, don't try and make last season's work, like flatten it down, watch a few games with it flat, and then move it around and go for it. And like I say, there's a lot of games left, but I'm really happy, and I'm really happy with how the Rum Lads are doing. In the Cup, obviously not so great, but it is what it is. But yeah, in the league, I mean, if they go up, I don't know what'll happen, but I've not planned for that because they weren't even predicted to do it. The idea was these kind of just stayed here. Dockside came up, and then next season Dockside would like the strong team, and then they'd maybe go up. But if I start having 2 that move up the leagues, then that'll just be interesting what I end up doing with it.
Good problem
but overall,
to have.
Yeah, good problem to have. Yeah, absolutely. And then while I'm on mine, I will just throw up just because we're in here the Ron John stuff, which are the 3 at the bottom.
Yeah, please do. Do it for all of us.
Yeah, so I'll just go in the order, which is mine first, but that's just because of the order I added them in. So
I forgot about them.
I'm literally... He must hate me right now, I guess. Sorry, Ron John, if you do. I'm doing my very best. Team. Yeah, you're going to have a nice Spark team next season unless we can turn it around. Obviously, in the mid-season, though, I'm assuming we're allowed to change our tactics, right? Yeah. So this isn't running the tactic that I'm running that I think will work now, based on even some tactic testing with the left midfielders and right midfielders from the other formations. So I think I might be able to turn something round to try and stay up. From the testing we've done with other clubs, I'd like to try and do that. Then we've obviously got Funny Man, which it's a tight league again by the looks of it. Mixed form, but they're doing okay. I don't think they'll go down. And then we've got yours, Bruce, Silver Fox, flying. Yeah, literally.
What's funny is, though, I've got the exact same record as Mr. K, but I'm 5th, he's 7th. It's just the league you're in, innit?
Just the league you're in, I guess. Yeah, absolutely.
I believe we're top of the cup, though. I think we're through in the cup.
I can have a look for you. Yeah, you are.
Yeah, through in the cup. So, nice.
Yeah, nice. So that's good. That's going well. I'm enjoying that, though. Like you say, it'd be interesting to see what we do. Because I guess you won't need to do much with yours in the mid-season, but I need to do tactics, basically. So, cool. Right, well, we're all having an okay season, I think, overall, so it's not too bad. I know there's some frustrations and things like that, but overall, I think we're quite happy with how our clubs are going by the sounds of it, which is
He's
nice.
Definitely trying to bait you into that.
I know he is. I'm not going to rant.
Something about me. He told me about baiting you into it, and he just keeps dropping them in there.
No, I'm not going to rant.
So we'll go on to some niceties, and I'd like to talk about the kit creator. Oh. So, and what we all think to it, and if you want to show your kits, because I know they're on screen before, but if there's a particular one or two you really love and you want to highlight by clicking on it and making it bigger or whatever, go for it. If not, what's your thoughts on the kit maker? And then the other part we'll dip into if we get a little bit of time mid-season plans. If not, we'll save that for what we ended up doing and do that next week and go into tactics. So, kit creator, what's the vibe?
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. It's a lot of fun. Once it was out and I saw what we could do. I mean, obviously the options aren't even limited because there's stuff you can do within the options, and it's really cool. I'd love to have an even bigger play with it. But I think some of the kits I've made are pretty cool. I like them. I'm pretty happy.
Show us a couple on the screen.
Sure, I could show you a couple. Actually,
I think it's cool. I didn't realise, because I did the first ones on my mobile, and when I did the next time, I did them on the desktop. I didn't realise there was those additional 3 options, which are, I think, the ones you're talking about, where you can click 3 of them, and all of a sudden there's extra sliders, but it changes like the blur and the effects and stuff, and I was like, whoa. Okay, that's like another level of being able to edit it.
Okay, so for Yorkshire Tea XP, I wanted some input from you guys, but I got none. So I went with the home kit. I went for like Hull City inspired. I know these are zebra stripes, they're not tiger stripes, but I figured like a bit of Hull City inspired, and then for the away kit, a bit of Leeds inspired. I know we've got the amber trim, but all white kit. I thought Leeds. I thought that was.
I would wear that away kit.
I would wear that.
Is that what you're saying? As a Hull City fan, you'd wear a Leeds kit?
I would wear that away kit. Yeah.
No, it's fine.
Because it's got amber on it, mate. Because it's got amber on it.
Yeah. Bruce specified a Leeds kit, and you said you'd wear it. It's fine. Yeah. Just clarifying. Please continue, Bruce.
For the Fortress, I went with AC Milan inspired. Defense, Italian football. I had to go for the AC Milan inspired kits. Nothing massive to write home about. These ones, as soon as I got this club, like in season 5, whatever, this is what I envisioned for my kit. So it was very easy. Like as soon as I got it, I was like, I know exactly what I want to do with this kit. So that was very easy. And then the away kit, like that.
Argentina vibes.
Yeah, where I thought more, if these white were black, I was thinking more Grêmio in the Brazilian league, because they've got the stripes with the little stripes on the edge, which is a very Brazilian thing, and I like that. And then Black Mamba, we went with this one for the home kit, and then I wanted to do like you'll see it with my second kit, like an Ajax style. But when I did the yellow strip all the way down, it turned my dots yellow, and I didn't want them that. I want them black, so I made the strip like smaller, and it's kind of a bit PSG, that, isn't it? Like,
yeah, I like it.
Looking at it now, that's actually a bit PSG. And then the away kit, which is the IX style with the Los Angeles Lakers colours in it.
I like that.
So I went with that. Like I said, I wanted. On the home kit, I wanted this yellow with this black, but it just changed my dot colours, and I couldn't be having that.
I literally would probably wear all your away kits, to be fair. I really like the away. I like the home, but all those away ones, because they're they're quite simple looking. You could get away with them just as a t-shirt, couldn't you? Like kicking them out in the summer or whatever.
I think sponsors, I did talk about this in the Discord, and I understand why they won't let people upload, but I think if they put in some sponsors, shirt sponsors across them, I think that'd just finish them off. Like, you know, Wendeck or Ramble or Yorkshire Tea XP or just the MFL logo as a shirt sponsor. I think that just cherry on the top, I think.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That.
But very cool. I love it.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I think it's great. Especially because, like, I wasn't even in one of our pods. I was a bit like, it'll be great, but I'm not that worried about it. And then it came out, and I started to play with it. I was like, this is awesome. Yeah. I'll literally change my kits every season, and like, you know, that's what
I can't
I'll
wait till we can put them on our players.
Yeah, exactly.
That's going to be better. Yeah, that's going to be
so cool. Is there any you want to show, Mr. K? Any that you've got that stand out that you made that you want to show? I've got a couple, but if you've got some first,
you jump into yours, mate. 'Cause I'm literally scanning through all of them. Yeah,
Okay.
literally scanning through all of them, trying to work out which one am I like,
pods.
this is worth looking at.
Let's have a look. So, a bit like what you were saying, Bruce, my Rum Lads is literally Hull City inspired. So, home kit's literally inspired by Hull City's home kit.
That's a City kit. Yeah.
It's a City kit, but I literally love the away kit. It's so
That
cool.
is nice.
It's just so nice. I love that kit. It's probably my favourite out of the kits I made. Although I do like one on the dock side. I quite like the away. I quite like both my away kits. So again, the Hull City inspired all of these ones.
How did you get that curve?
The curve.
Yeah.
I think it was one of those extra options that I was saying.
It's
the one where you get.
What was the base?
Let's have a look. So the base is the Tigers one.
And then
Sorry. I've gone down to scale 1.
Pattern
And then
visual effects, you can play with that.
On, I think.
Yeah, you can play with those that make a real difference, and you've not always got an option for all three. You might only have one or two, but they do have quite an impact on them.
So guess going down to Skebr's, so that's what you're looking at normally. Look.
Yeah. Okay.
That's quite nice, actually.
It's actually really...
Quite leave it at 3.6, but yeah, that's how I got to that. And then this one, I just went a bit like psychedelic-y. It's all right. It does a job. Don't know if I don't. Downtown Cowboys is pointless showing. I'll show this one. I quite liked. I inspired by Mr. K, where he said make sure you go pink and that in your kit. So that's literally what I did. I don't think I'd wear any of them kits, to be honest. But yeah, absolutely love my Rum Lads away kit. I was going to put it as a home kit, but I've done them the way round that City would have them. So that's why I like that. Anything from you, Mr. K? What do you think? Are you showing anything?
Let's have a nosy. White Rose Peacocks one. I played around with it for a little bit. I'm quite happy with this one in terms of the colour tone. The colour tones I've gone for on that one, I was happy with. I think the Midlands one is quite clean in terms of what it is, but it's just not like groundbreaking. It's just fairly standard, but it's that sort of navy with the red, that dark navy with the red that I quite like.
The logo stands out quite well on that, doesn't it?
Yeah, because that's what I was doing. I was doing HTML colour matching on the colours that I've got for the badges. Same with the Silver Club team. I was quite happy with that one. Which one did I play around with more? I tried this one.
That away kit looks nice on that one.
This one. Yeah,
I like that. It's nice, that.
Yeah, because it's sort of like a phoenix sort of burning sort of stuff. So it was trying to get that sort of visual effect going on with it. Some of these I think are pretty basic. Yeah, that's fairly basic. That one just matches the kit. It's matched the kit. This is literally an inverse of the other. I don't think you're allowed to do this anymore because I did it immediately. But it'll probably tell me off and say no, those two are too similar. But I've not changed it, so it is what it is.
My
fairly standard. To be fair, the keto ones I think look quite nice with the colours.
That's nice.
I do like the keto ones.
Yeah, I like the keto one's quite clean.
Love that. Absolutely love that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, isn't it? Just messing around with it and seeing what you can do with it. Yeah. I mean, there'll probably be a few iterations, improvements and stuff, but I think they've got enough there to work with for now. Because I know they're saying I think from next season onwards there'll be some sort of charge cost with it. It'll be MFL related, no doubt. But if they're going to also add more features to it, it's going to tempt more people to sink a little bit more MFL into it, which is theoretically good for the economy.
Like I said last week, they should put like extra templates in like a store and get people to pay for it, like
more patterns,
premium patterns. Like I think that'd be a good
kit sponsors, Like you can get the Adidas, but it's not Adidas. Abibas, and you can go get their kits. But they've got slightly different variation on the styles that you can do. People will pay for that.
Mm-hmm.
They absolutely will.
Yeah, it's good. Like you say, it's good that they've done it free for this season as well for us all to play about. But obviously, it's a positive for them as well because they get to see all the things.
It's really clean
and stuff.
The user experience of doing it, the UX of it is really clean and sharp.
Simple, wasn't it?
Exactly. And you can play around with it to your heart's content and tweak this and tweak that. I love the fact with the colour palettes, they're not really restrictive. You can literally go in there, you can drop a HTML colour code if you want to get whatever colour you want, and it'll add it to it. And then it adds it to your selection of all the different colours, and you can just keep dropping them, changing it all. And really smart how it's come out, I think. And any issues, I didn't encounter the issues, but I know a few people did and reported it, but they addressed it like practically within 24 hours.
I think there was just some size and stuff, wasn't there? If you did it on your mobile, it was like different size. You couldn't get some of the features, and I think your kits on the pitch were a bit different. But I think when we were saying in one of the pods a few back when we had all our ideas and we were talking about like the cards now, sort of like saying like, not would they be Pro Evo, FIFA or EA, whatever it is these days, but could they do it? But that's a bit like what you were saying there, Bruce. I'd love to click on the player of my club and it show him now in the kit that I've created. That will just do me in. That I'll be all over that.
That'll be so good.
Like that'll be so good because that's just an overlay on the card, right? All they got to do is over. I don't know how simple it is. I'm making that sound so easy, but like, and then if I transfer him to you to loan, he then has your kit on because he's gone to you and comes back to me as my arm.
Adds to the immersion. I'll be
so all over that. And like, because I was thinking, like when you go to your matches and you do like the loading thing and it does it in the countdown, like 30, 29, whatever. It'd be really cool if that suddenly had like the team sheets, like rather than like they are now on the side, but like your team sheets with the kits and the formation, like a bit like you'd see in an FM type thing, like at the starting screen like that with a countdown in the middle, like referee's name or whatever. I don't know. We're not on ideas for him here, but it just led me to think of more things when I saw the kits for real. I was like, yeah, I'd love to see that on all my players in my club.
Yeah. Well, that's coming.
Really
That's coming.
Yeah.
They've said it's coming, just not yet. So
yeah, cool. Last thing in the topic of the week is just mid-season plans. If you have got any and you want to talk about them now, or we're going to cover them on next week's pod anyway in terms of what we did in the mid-season. I'll go first because I don't have any plans at the minute. I just literally will probably, if I've got any players that people want to hand back, where they just like to cancel the contracts, I'll probably accept them and then just, as long as I've got so many, just stick them into my club just so they get the training still. I'd rather they went out on loan, but other than that, I've got no plans to make any changes at all.
Fair enough.
Any of you guys? Any thoughts?
Well, I mean, we all know the second half of the season is always different, and I've had my frustrating half. So what I'm hoping is the second half of the season, I'm going to have the good thing, and it's all going to start on Wednesday when I buy my rare pack and I get my 18-year-old Lego left winger, right? And it's all going to start from there. And obviously, if I get a 28-year-old centre forward who's 75 rated, I'm going to have a generational head loss, I think.
It's a good point, though. I forgot about the pack drop, so that can go in here as well. So you're planning on, obviously, diving into the pack drop.
What I get out of the pack will dictate any changes. I don't think I need to make any changes. I think in Mamba, the thing I've realised now is, because like I said, it's so tight, I need my best 16 up. I need to, for whether I'm in bronze next season or I stay in iron, my best 16 has to come up like a little bit, because I've got a couple of players who are a bit lower than my starters, and they're doing all right. They're not doing terrible, but I need to bring my best 16 average up. I really do, because rotating is a fucking nightmare right now, because everybody's stacked. Everybody's got their best 11 against me. I really need to cut that out, I think. So, yeah, it'll depend what I get in my pack. If I get something amazing, then things will get changed around. But if not, then I'm kind of okay with how things are going at the minute.
Yeah. Cool. Oh, you, Mr. K, you pre-season, mid-season plans and or pack talk? Anything from you?
I don't think I'm going to go ahead with anything pack related. I don't feel like I need that. If I'm going to do anything, it's I need this specific position. So
you don't need to be pack, mate. There's no need involved with the pack. Just do it. There's no need.
It's like Kev. Kev said, I'm not going to buy any packs. I'm not going to buy a pack stream night. That's it. I'm buying packs. I'm just not going to say I'm not buying packs. I'm just buying packs. The end.
But like at the start of the season, I had a rare pack sitting there. I'm really glad I didn't open it because when Space Jack showed it to me, and he got like I think it was a 75 rated striker or something for the rare. And don't get me wrong, I think he was fairly young. I mean, I'll go have a quick scan actually.
He could turn out to be amazing, though. Yeah, with progression, he could.
He could
how my
absolutely.
mind
That's what his
works.
position was on it. That was his position on it. It was like, well, he could become good. Yeah, 23-year-old, 75 rated striker, Paul Gilmore, 70 pace, 85 shooting, 72 dribbling, 66 physical. So he's a 75 rated striker because he's got 85 shooting.
Yeah.
He will take forever to progress because he needs so many stats to pad up around that, which is the ball ache with it. I don't need like just a random bit of pack of something. I need like specific positions. I think there's going to be a bit of at the start of the season, I had my 4-2-3-1 locked in and the ability to go into all these different formations. And I was actually been messaging one of the co-owners in my Silver Club tonight and thinking, it's two things at this point in the season. Has there been slight, minute changes that they've had to do around the game that have a knock-on ripple effect with the game? Or, more than likely, everyone's had half a season to work out the engine and work out the tactics, and now the gap between those who have tested and those who haven't has closed. Yeah. But my 4-2-3-1, it's solid defensively, holds the ball really well, doesn't create a lot of chances. I don't have enough strikers to go into two striker formations and have rotations. And I haven't got enough centre mids to really sort of change it up. So my 83 CM from Stone, which he should be, he was 81 at the start of the season, he's now 83. He doesn't need to be there. He can cut the mustard in silver, so he's going to move up to silver. So I'll probably need to get another CM for my Stone team. So that's loan most likely. Probably another striker in Stone because I've decided that I do want to have the CM playing. I've only got one DM anyway in that team, like full out. And I've only got two strikers, and Randall Little, having a two-striker formation, really works for him. So I want to get another striker in there. So that's where most of the work's going to take place. Other than that, it's basically if but maybe on a few positions.
I know what you mean. It's the balance for you, innit? If you invest your money, you can go for the players that might change your season. If you didn't need to do that and you had a little bit of spare money, you might do a pack for fun. I get what you're kind of saying with that.
Yeah, totally.
Anyway. I'd do it anyway.
I would do it anyway.
Regen.
I'm at that point. But I'm at that point with my agency that I don't need like the dice roll with
Stop using
money.
need. There's no need.
Yeah, there's no need.
What?
Remove.
Because I'm sitting here. I'm just gonna keep talking anyway. I've got out of my 160 players, 33 of them are 80 plus rated. Well, that's enough for almost two full squads of bronze, effectively, and I supplement them into my silvers and loan a few in. So I've got like one lone in one bronze team. The other one's sort of 50% loans, 50% my team. I've got like 5 or 6 players in the silver squad. Then past that, it's really thin. So I'm more like, okay, if I was to move on one of my 4 or more of those players I've got listed for a negotiated amount, I would reinvest that into potentially like a standard pack because I could use uncommon and I would still use limited and still use a common and anything better, great. But I don't need the rare. The rare's too much of a dice roll for me, whereas you're, Bruce, where you are with Iron, even a 75 rated someone that you might not necessarily want will have a home. In mine, I'm having to just fling them into Stone for the sake of it. And I've also got in my foreground that what should be happening in the season, I've been selling that Stone Club back to, well, hopefully Iron Club, back to Bosco. So I'm not invested in that sort of division at this stage, or Iron or whatever. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm probably going to be looking for loans, so seeing what's available on there that isn't absolutely obscene rev shares, and just see what the options might be. But yeah, so if anybody is interested,
any packs, Root?
I mean, I always say no, but I'll just buy every pack I can physically get before it sells.
You're going to have a Stone team next season. You're going to have to.
Yeah. So what you're saying is I need to buy bigger and better packs, roll the dice, and just loan them out for the second half of the season and get them ready for the rum lads. Give them a bit of training, get them out there. Yeah.
That's what I do.
So which pack is it that I need to buy, Bruce?
All of them.
All of them. Yeah, I'm like you. Yeah, I'm like you. It's no need for me. I just love it.
It's just
I
fun.
love it. It's fun.
I enjoy it. Yeah,
it's fun. So I'll have to get something, but yeah, I don't know what. But you are right. I do probably need to start thinking next season. Maybe, I mean, obviously, I'm on a bit like Mr. K's in the transfer market all the time for clubs. I'm always looking at players. I've got like a filter that I always use under a certain age or whatever, and I just look for the ones that come up to be a bargain. And you can pick them up every now and again. Maybe I need to just take that upper layer to see if anybody's trying to get. There's any bargains for me to get with a nice blue colour on them, rather than.
Right now, I know you don't like buying old players, but right now, old players are cheap as shit, man. Like they are so like rares, like they're so cheap, man.
Yeah.
But to be fair, if it was for the rum lads, I probably would. I know that sounds really backwards, but it's the dock side I want to invest forever in. So if they went up and it was like, well, you could invest X money into that club, and that could potentially keep them up or not, or they might go down, but they're like borderline players for that could stay in the league above. All those players that I know are already good enough and have been progressing this season to get a club promoted would go into Dockside, and then all the ones in Dockside would go into Cowboys, and all of a sudden, yes, them ones are older players, but these ones now will probably start going where I need them to go.
Progression,
so, yeah. I need to get past that. And I suppose it's that thing when you guys talk about IDs as well, under a certain ID and all that, and I probably don't still understand that enough. I know it's simple, but I've never bothered because I've always gone like 22 or under, 23 or under when I'm buying players for the most part. But I think that's because I wanted to get a sustainable longevity.
Yeah.
Just so I knew, like now, the investment I've been able to invest into it for various different reasons, I know sets me in a good place for a lot of seasons, but it doesn't mean I can't put some more in or do it a different way. So yeah, no, it's something to consider. Cool. Well, we'll discuss that more next week then, see what everybody actually did in the window and the drops. So moving on to Tactics Corner. And we had the 4-1-3-2. I couldn't get it out there. I haven't wrote it on my notes, which is really bad, so really professional of me there. I was literally going to read out the formation, which I know was last week's. Who wants to go first out of you two boys on the 4-1-3-2?
Why don't you go first, Root?
You want me to go first?
Why not?
Okay, fair enough. I don't mind doing that. So, I was put off from testing, which I'm not going to ruin anything for everybody that's going to listen to it, but from our Discord conversations, I was a little bit put off testing it, thinking, oh God, this is going to be a bit of a nightmare. Now, I think I've got this formation to a really good place. I just don't think, again, it's that I don't have a left mid and a right mid in any of these clubs that are good enough to do what I need. And I've played it through various clubs because obviously now the new feature to copy through the clubs is there. Once I start getting it ticking in one, I can do it. So it's like, it's losing, right, in these games. And I know I always go results like everything. You guys go, well, it's pretty important because you've got to win. But it can win, and it does win. And I'm going to show you what I mean. So in this team, it's not winning, but it's close, right? It's fairly close. And when you go into the matches, you know, we're competing. So as far as I'm concerned, it could go either way. You got variance thrown in there, all those types of things thrown in there as well. And bear in mind, I'll go for each of my clubs. And we're playing really well. Look, 16. Ratings are really good. We get a draw. And the teams we're coming up against are very similar rated to us. So there's not really anything in it, you know. So it's there or thereabouts, the same. So and what I mean by, what I'll show you what I mean in terms, I'll just go into one more that we lost. Maybe I'll just pick this one on this team. I'll go through the clubs first and I'll show the tactic at the end after I've gone through a few of them. But again, look, we're dominating the game, right? So we're dominating. But when you look at our team, in this club specifically, our left mid, he's actually a left back that can kind of play there, but drops off quite a lot. And he doesn't play there at all. And these two players in this formation are so important, right? So, like, I just feel like I'm struggling more. And I think if those guys had the 70 rated like the rest of the team have, pretty much, I think that could elevate them up slightly to perform better. I don't know if I did any testing with Dockside. I know I did it quite a lot with the Cowboys, like I was saying earlier. So let's have a look. So again on here, the result. And I posted in the Discord, like the results are so close. Again, 2-2, 0-0, 4-2, 1-0, whatever. And when you go into it, it's the same as what I was saying. And it's not a formation anything like my others. But we're just playing really good football, and we literally look good on paper. But again, when you look at your club, I'm dropping off in the left and right mids every time. 55 compared to 65s. 59 compared to 65s. And that will make a massive difference to the formation without a doubt. They're playing out of position, these players as well. And then this one again, similar. So all the last 5 games of each of the clubs is the same formation that I'm going to say I think will work if people have those left mids, by the way. All these other ones are various different formations. But again, if we just pick one where we did get a win with this again, look at them. They dominated us and we still grabbed a 3-1 win. I mean, so like I said in the last pod, when you're tactic testing, there's lots of variants, unless you're going to play that same club. And I think I've said before, do you want to do that? But again, look, drop-offs, 10 dropping off. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot of a drop-off from the players around them, really. So I'll go into the Downtown Cowboys and I'll run through the formation. So I'd love somebody, one of you guys, or I can post the screenshots up in Discord or whatever, just to give it a test with if you've got left mids and right mids. I know Andrew in our Discord was talking about it because I think he's struggling. So play some friendlies with it if you want, or I'll post some screenshots up. I'd love to see if you've got a full strength squad in all positions, if it does what it needs to do. So team instructions, I've gone for 3/4 of the way up attacking width, controlled, balanced on the flank, balanced on long shots instead of take fewer. So I've tried to do things slightly different. I've gone cross more often, which I don't usually do, dribble less often, and balanced attacking. And then I've gone about a quarter of the way up, third of the way up in terms of depth, middle on the compactness, and then trigger more often for aggressive, and play out of defence. I tried to make it where it's a team are playing together to move it forward. I tried it on clear the ball and direct. I tried doing what we were testing last time, bringing down like the trigger press down. Going on any of these for the whole team is just pointless. It has to be on that. You're never going to win a game. I'm literally convinced if there's anyone out there that is playing a balanced trigger press throughout their team with balanced aggressive and whatever you want on this, I need to see your results and understand your formation, because I can't get a win when I take that off there and put it there. Just doesn't happen for me. And then clear the ball doesn't seem as effective in this engine as we said. But I think controlled and play out of defence, I do think it plays well if people look at the highlights or whatever. And then the other thing I tried, the attacking a tendency on more defensive, because again, to try and combat some of the players not being as good in the position, but it was more tighter in defence, but we couldn't score. So I think if you go that, no matter, even if I was overriding it with my midfielders or my attackers, I still wasn't scoring. So I banged that back in the middle, really.
I do know your issue. I'll talk about it.
Yeah, I said that on the last pod. I'd love you to feed back in, 100%. Do you want to do it on this screen, or do you want me to do the players first? I don't mind.
No, do the players. I'll tell you when I do it. When I show mine, I'll show you where you've gone wrong. Yeah, like
awesome, cool, thanks. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So keeper, nothing on the keeper. And then I've gone for a bit rogue. I wanted to try things in this tactic testing. So risky passing on the left back. I know the idea is to make it win, but I do think this will win games. But obviously, I'll wait till you come onto yours. Risky passing on the right back. Centre mids, dribble less, because obviously we're on dribbling more. Low freedom and more defensive on both the centre backs. And then here again, low freedom and dribble less. So it's basically that triangle in the middle. I don't want them to run with the ball, but everyone else can start running around. These ones risky passing just on the left and right midfielders. I tried them on dribble more, but didn't really seem to get much from it. And then the CM, take more long shots, cross left often, because we've got cross more often on, and more offensive, so he gets forward a bit more. But I don't want him drifting out trying to cross the ball or do anything like that. Then the strikers, again, crossing left, conservative passing, and more offensive. And that's the same on both of them. So, I mean, I'm convinced, I think, even though, like you say, my results are a bit hit and miss, but I think the thing with tactic testing, you get variance. I think if I played that team where I won 4-2, I could get 4-2, 3-2, and then lose 3 games in a row. So it's real difficult. But when I watch it playing, even like you say, the games we're drawing or whatever, and the stats, which is what I was saying in the Discord, I'm quite happy with the stats, like 52 possession, 11 shots. But we don't have a very good players that are in the team. But yeah, that's me. Did I like the formation? Not really. Would I run it? Probably not. But I am interested. Well, obviously now what you've said, I'm interested in that. But like I said in the last pod, I'm always interested in learning from you guys, and I think I'm out there telling everybody that because I know I'm not a tactician, and I love hearing feedback. So I don't know which of you guys wants to grinding gears and grinding out results. Thanks for that, Mr. K. Sorry, just for those that won't see that, Mr. K has the ability to put stuff under our names. I've only just noticed it. Who wants to go next then? Do you want to go next, Bruce? Just because
did you see yours though, Roo?
Grinder, yeah. Oh yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I saw it. Don't you worry.
That's fine. Just checking.
The big G. Yeah, I get it.
Do you want to go next, Adam, or what?
Yeah, I can jump into mine and see how it might differ because let me choose the right one. Club Tactics. So, the version I'm happy with is on my silver team, but I will go over to Keto because this is where I started out with it because I had a majority of good CMs with the level of play I've already got. If anything, they were higher rated. But if I go to friendlies, it wasn't working. I tested a lot, and it just wasn't working out in any way consistently. Even the wins I was getting weren't convincing, and I was using a lot of tactics and team instructions that are similar to a number of tactics I've already got. And I thought, I watched some of the games and I went, I need to rip this up, but I didn't want to have major players in certain positions that were just throwing it out because the teams I was matching up against, I've got 75 rated players in the starting 11 and an 83. And then I was matching up with low 80 rated teams on average. So they were just overpowering the teams over and over again. And I can't be asked trying to choose opponents. So I thought, rip it up, let's start again. And I properly ripped it up because if I go super quick back to Keto and just go to the team instructions, you'll see where I'm going on about. Fairly similar, fairly wide. Lots of potential issues here straight away that I was seeing, like playing wide, playing narrow wasn't working. Generally, this sort of middling sort of way of play, you're getting dominated in the middle of the pitch. The centre mid and the DM were getting bypassed constantly, and I was constantly having to defend and not creating enough going forward. So let's go to the silver team and we'll look at the friendlies initiated. It was far more convincing when I started testing with these teams because I think I actually matched up against this team first, and they were a very strong team, and I thought, I think they're in one of my leagues. And I was like, I'll test them a few times just out of curiosity. But then past that, matched up with them again randomly at one point and lost 2-1 this time with the new tactics. Lost there and got a draw. But if I go into the tactics for it, in this sort of formation, it was like if I'm trying to go somewhat direct with my attacking players to play direct, we lose the ball, we've not got the numbers back to defend. It's basically one shield with these guys getting isolated, and a lot of teams have got numbers over here, and you've only got one DM, so don't usually do it, but I want controlled. So I've got about 75% in terms of attacking width, controlled, less long shots, not crossing more often because it wasn't working, more offensive as an attacking tendency, which I've not used a lot, middling depth because I didn't want to be sitting back too much, with a tight block, and the usuals for trigger press, aggressiveness and clearances. So more often trigger press, balanced aggression, and play out of defence. Especially playing controlled, it makes sense to do that. And then I just sort of started a game with all of my players. So goalkeeper, controlled and play out defence. The fullbacks, I'm doing this quite a bit at the moment this season. I don't mind them looking for a direct ball to a winger or someone out here if they're getting pressed, because that's what I tend to see when you play controlled. You start seeing people pressing your teams. Direct ball is fine. I have been getting my fullbacks to dribble more often, because quite often my fullbacks are very good players overall. I mean, this right back's got 87 dribbling, and I don't mind him holding it. This is the interesting one. I'm telling him to be conservative with his passing, but play more direct. But it works. It works. Yeah. They retain the ball pretty well, and it's the same on the other fullback. Same balance. Defenders, nothing groundbreaking, but I'm telling them to be controlled, conservative, and low positional freedom, because I just want them to be the constant option for the balls when it's been cycled round. The DM, less long shots, balanced on crossing. Dribble less often, so I don't want him moving around with the ball too much, and low positional freedom. But past that, nothing else. He's just sort of a constant out ball and looking to keep facilitating other players. The CM in this team isn't the best, but he can pass. So less long shots, risky passing, because I do like risking passing this season. I think it works really well. Again, low positional freedom, because I don't want him vacating the middle of the park and leaving my DM isolated. And I have been getting a lot of my afforded players being more aggressive and pressing more often. Are we getting yellow cards? Yes. Am I getting many reds? No, not really. Not really, not in the grand scheme of things. Change my wingers to not be direct, because usually I've got them being direct. Less long shots, cross more often, dribble more, risky, more offensive, more often, more aggressive. Same on the left. Strikers, happy to let them be direct. I don't want them taking long shots because they waste chances constantly when we do it. They break down attacking moves. Conservative passing, attacking tendency more often, more offensive, and again, being aggressive. I want them to press. So having that middling line, compacting the midfield, pressing opposition, we turn the ball over quite often when they're trying to play out. And if they do go direct and do put the ball on us, if we win that first ball, we're not trying to punt it straight back. We're holding on to it. We're retaining it. Because there's so many options in this formation for triangles. Triangular passing. There's 1-2s all over the show with the shape. And I thought just being more direct was just not completely getting rid of that tactical advantage with this formation. So yeah, in terms of results, it's been quite comfortable in a number of games. I might click on one and wasn't comfortable. I can't remember, truth be told. But we create chances, and you can see the sort of player ratings. This is what I've noticed with this style of play, is the player ratings are high. Don't tend to get very many poor match ratings. So that was against a 4-4-2, which if I go to MFL coach, 4-4-2 against a 4-1-3-2, 36% win rate apparently. It's fairly even in terms of win and loss rate. So it's a middling sort of formation against a 4-4-2. Aberdeen Devils, let's have another quick look. Again, we're not creating loads of XG, but we're creating chances and we're taking the chances because the strikers are quite good in this team. I mean, he's gone up. He must have gone up today. I didn't know he had. His tier broke. That's good. But yeah, 91 shooting on that guy and Mr. Hill. And then 90 shooting on Mr. Hill there. But yeah, they're not like blowing teams away. But we're not leaving a load of chances for the teams on the constant one. It's fair that we're sort of edging those games. I mean, here, game, same amount of shots. We weren't getting shots on target. It was getting blocked. I think I remember watching this and they had a really, really low block. We kept hitting their players. And yeah, they get the shots on target. Keeper makes a few saves. Yeah, it's one of them games, that one. It's one of those sort of games I feel like you can sit there and press rematch and you'll win about 50% of them and you'll lose 50%. It's sort of back and forth. So yeah, it's not my favourite formation. I preferred this formation last year. I think it was better, but the balanced, the sort of middling balanced and not commit to anything didn't work with this. But I went with controlled, which I don't usually do, and yeah, relatively happy with it. I still think it's the strongest this season. I think double DM formations are far stronger.
Okay.
Well, it definitely played better than mine, so well done. Well done on that.
I had the players for it, though, at the same time, to be fair.
Bruce, you're up.
Okay.
Tell me what I did wrong and tell me what you did right. Let's hear it.
Okay, so as you know, if you watched last week, then I am in a bit of a point-proving mode at the minute. And that's how I started. So when I did this, the benefit for this is I've got the players that suit this formation. So my thing I wanted to do was to prove that trigger press less often and less aggression are completely useless. So I went with that for these first few games, and I figured, okay, that's how you want to play. If you're sitting off, you're not pressing, you're not aggressive, you want to be direct, as I said last week. So that's how I started. I went defensive and I went direct with less trigger press, less aggression. And as you can see here, we lose 2-1. These three teams here are all better than me. Slightly stronger squads. This is a bronze squad. These are all slightly better than me. Lost 2-1, lost 3-2, and won 1-0. Right? It looks close, but it really wasn't. Like, when you watch the games, it's awful. So when I finished this game, even though we'd won, I was like, okay, maybe direct's the problem. Because when you're playing direct, you don't have the ball a lot because you're just kicking it away. You don't have the ball a lot. And so if I went controlled, then I don't really have to worry about the trigger press left off because I'll have the ball more. So I won't need to trigger the press. I won't need to be more aggressive because I'll have the ball. So I switched. And we went immediately and lost 3-1. Now, these are weaker teams than me. This one, this one, this one, this one. These are all weaker teams than me. So you can see, I've got the results. They're not super weak, much weak, but they are weaker teams than me. We got a 2-0 win. We got a 1-0 win. We got a 0-0. And now you probably sat here like, oh, well, then you've been proven wrong, Bruce. And I was like, well, I'm not having that. So what I did was, from this game onwards, I was like, okay, let's keep the exact same tactics. And instead of having trigger less and less aggression, I'll put it to the meta. I'll put trigger press more often and balanced aggression. And see the difference. So as you can see here, we drew 0-0. You can see the difference, 5-0. And bear in mind, this is defensive. I'm on defensive. I'm not on attacking. This one, we got a 1-0 win here against Pharaohs. With the improved stats, 8-1. This one, we drew 0-0. We did win 1-0, 2-0 here, but I think this was actually the variance, because I don't think we deserved to score 2 goals. I think this was one of those 2 shots on target, 2 goals. We lost 3-1 the first time playing it. We won 1-0 on the return. Parma FC, we beat them 1-0 both time. We then lost 3-0 to Bratwurst Munchen, and I realised, hold on, I've done this wrong, because in these 3 games I was playing direct. And in these 2, I was playing controlled. So I switched back to direct in the interests of science. I beat the bronze team 1-0. I drew 2-2 with this team. You'd say that's a worse result, but we played better. We created better chances. We then lost 3-0 to Jenks, which I'm going to put down to variance. And then carried on. I put it back to controlled, and I carried on testing. We won 2-0. We won 2-1. We drew here. These again, this is a bronze team. We drew 0-0. This is a very strong iron team. We drew 1-1. And I think at this point I got bored because the matches were having that, you know, the MFL logo that comes up and spinning. So I got bored of it then. But as you can see from the results, and if you watch the games as well, there was a very clear difference in when I had trigger press more often and balance to when I had it and less. I'm going to stand by this. I think I've proved my point, because it is, these 2 are extremely pointless. Less often, less aggressive. It's just so pointless. It affects you too much. I think the use it has, because the one thing I did notice was 0 cards. I got no cards whatsoever when I had it on this. So that's the only benefit. So, I mean, if you were going to use it, I'd maybe use it as an individual instruction. Like, I've got a guy who maybe in 2 games, he's on 4 yellow cards and I need him to play the next 2 games. Maybe I'll turn it down to less aggressive. But even then, I'd say no. I'd say just take the risk, because, or just replace him with a backup for 1 game, because it affects the way they play. And they play worse with these on. There is a very clear difference when you watch the games. Massive difference between this and this. And I'm also going to start being an advocate for this more aggressive. I think people don't stay away from it because they're scared of, oh, if I'm on more aggressive, I'm going to get more cards. There's really not a difference. You're going to get the cards anyway, playing on balance. You're going to get them anyway. But what this does is, it especially if you've got high physical players, you just win the ball back a lot easier. It's very, very effective. So I'm going to start being an advocate for this, I think. But here's the tactics. So I've given you the tactics. I haven't, shat all of you. I did make a good tactic this time. And this is where I think you 2 have both gone wrong. And it's in the attacking width. Just width in general. Because I've put it here in the middle, and you guys went wider, right? But when you go wide, this left mid and this right mid spread out, which leaves huge gaps here around the centre mid and the CDM. Massive gaps that are easily exploitable. If you put this here in the middle, and you can go a little bit further this way, these left and right mids will actually act as like pseudo centre mids. So you've got a line of centre mids, and because left mids and right mids and centre mids all share the same pool for, stats, they play pretty much similar to centre mids in here. You could go narrower, though I do like the option of it being wide. But when you have it in the middle, like say the right mid comes out here to give you some width, this left mid will tuck in and act as a second centre mid, and vice versa on the other side. So I think this is where you've gone wrong here. You need this in the middle, or again, like this, if you wanted a bit narrower, but I prefer having the option of having a bit of width in this formation. So like you guys, I went controlled, went balanced on flank preference and long shots, then cross less often, dribble less often, and more defensive. On the defensive side, I've already talked about this. I did put play out of defence on clearances, made them nice and compact again, because to keep those left and right mids in so that you've not got massive spaces here in the midfield, and my team depth about what's that 30, where I usually put it, but that's based on my players, the defenders I've got. I didn't go overboard with instructions because I didn't feel I needed to on the individual side. On the centre backs, just kept them both on low positional freedom. My DM, again, low positional freedom. My centre mid, I told him risky passing and I wanted him on balanced. And my right and left mid, risky passing, and I think the other one is also risky passing. Didn't change anything else. And then on the strikers, again, high positional freedom and more offensive. Bear in mind, I've got this because I've got rapid strikers, and it's really good. They're a really good out ball. I'm playing controlled, and it's sort of like they'll play controlled right up until about here, and then it's just a through ball to one of my fast strikers, and they keep the ball, through ball to one of my fast strikers, and it worked really, really well. We scored plenty. We created great chances. And so, yeah, I think that's the key in this, is keeping this in the middle, because if you put too much width in, there's way too much space, and you need these guys to act as centre mids. I think this would be better if these were just centre mids and you just had 3 centre mids, but that's not the card that's been dealt. It's right and left mid. But yeah, it was okay. I think it struggled against the 3-5-2B. And I noticed when I played against 3-5-2B, because of the way that sets up, it pulls your players out into weird positions. So if you were going to use this, I think I got a 0-0 against the 3-5-2B. But watching it, it just pulled everyone out into weird positions. So I'd avoid using it against the 3-5-2 because it just didn't seem ideal for it. I think I got lucky to get a draw. But it's an okay formation. I think it works for me because, like I said, I've got fast strikers. And the key is in that middle of the pitch, keep it narrow. You can go narrow if you want. I just like having a little bit of width, but keep it narrow, because if you go wide, there's just acres of space in that middle, and that centre mid and that DM are right there, and then everyone just plays around them, and that's what I found.
Yeah,
anyway.
I think when you're saying that now, it seems so obvious. I don't mean that in a condescending way. But I'm looking at it thinking, I obviously play a narrow formation most of the time. So I'm always trying to push wider.
Yes.
But I need to push wider because I've got 2 wide players. So as soon as you've gone now, I know where you've gone wrong. And I'm looking at it going, how that is just obvious, isn't it? Like, I'm going to make space for pushing wide. But that's why I love doing these things, because like I always listen to you guys and learn a lot. And then I think every week I do it, I'm slowly getting better in my own mind.
We can see the results, mate. We can see the results in your league. You're getting way better.
But now when you've said that, it makes sense. And again, like when you're talking about your players and you're literally just tweaking them, aren't you? Because you're using your team setting to do most of the work.
I didn't feel the need. I didn't feel the need to put in loads of instructions, because the team instructions were so solid. I didn't have to make up for anything. Yeah. Like, I think because you guys played wide, you had to make up for it a little bit with your individual instructions, whereas I didn't, because I had them where I wanted them to be. I think, anyway, that's what I think. But trigger press less often, less aggressive, useless. Yeah. I know I got some wins, but that's because I'm the GOAT, all right? But, but
did he literally just say
the style of play is...
Yes, he did. Yes,
night and day.
Change his name under his name.
Change the episode thumbnail in its entirety.
Well,
that's a quote for advertising the pod now. There we go.
I mean,
might not work for everyone else, but it works for me. I'm the GOAT.
Yeah.
Literally, that's a good tagline. I mean, I do like think you are really good at tactics anyway. So, as you know, so I'm not going to make your head any bigger.
It's not big. I'm joking. It was.
I know you are. I know.
Yeah.
But it's funny. It is funny. Cool. Yeah. So we all gave that a go. We'll put the poll out probably Tuesday or something for again to get the ones in for next week. Let's move on to player progression spotlight. So We are, like we said earlier, sort of like 9 games-ish or so, plus cup games into the season, so a good third of the way through. It'd be good. I've got a couple I want to pull out, but I don't want to go first. So it'd be good if anybody's got some progression that's really kicking on they want to show. And then obviously you've got your raw to rare or more player as well. So I don't know if you want to go first, Mr. K or Bruce, and show us your progression on your players in your agency. Anybody you want to pull out as well from your list would be cool.
Yeah, I'll throw a few people out. I'm just putting in the last week, because I've obviously gone through like recently. So in the last week, what we've seen, my left mid that I've been playing in bronze quite a bit is up to 83 now. I think it's +2 progression over the course of the last week. And you might have spotted there, it's +5 in dribbling and +3 in physical. He hasn't got the pace to match everything else because he's got high passing and he's got the good dribbling there. But he's actually done all right this season, I feel, so far. I don't know how he's doing performance of the current season. Performance. I've not tried doing this before, so we'll see what happens. Is it actually going to show us anything? There we go. He's played 11 games, 6.5 average rating, so very middling. So he's not actually lighting the world on fire, but he seems to be on a bit of a progression kick at the moment, which is nice to see. He's just got this nice little uptick here. But yeah, he's ticking on quite nicely. I've got my first Lego now in my agency because my right back picked up one who's defending. This is the centre mid I was telling you earlier that's going to be promoted. He's gone up again this week and he just keeps ticking over with his stats. By and large, fairly middling, but you'll spot there our raw to rare player. He's gone up +1 again. So he's plus progression recently in defending, +2 in he's defending recently. If we go for current season, he'll be there again. He's gone up 4 this season again after last season. But he just keeps ticking over with his stats. I mean, what did he come in as? A 54 rated? Yeah, he came in at 54 and he's just bum. So yeah, that's out of all the players I've got in the development centre, he's the one who's ticking on quite nicely to go for development centre this season. I've got one guy, just literally lottery ticket throw in there up to only a couple of +1s in the development centre, not that many, just general stat increases. It's been quite middling, but he's the standout in that one. He's just constantly just picking up stats here and there. So yeah, he's ticking on quite nicely. I think over the course of the current season, if I looked it down like that, yeah, that's got everyone in there, I think. Quite a few +1s. Is that everyone? Doesn't feel like that's everyone.
Excuse me.
Yeah, it is. It's not been... I think it's slightly better than last season. A few +2s and a +1s. But not groundbreaking. Because I'm at the point where, at the end of the season, current estimates at the moment, it's around 90k in MFL. It's like, is that 150 common players, or am I going elsewhere? You know what I mean? I'm really umming and ahhing. It'll probably most likely will be one rare player because I'll have somewhere to put him regardless. But then past that, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. But yeah, I'm looking to get I've got 160 at the moment players. Looking to get that into the 200s, I think, by the off season, and stack out some of my teams a bit more here than there. But I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. But yeah, it's getting to that point in the season as well where we theoretically will see a bit of a slowdown as well with progression. So we'll see. How about you boys?
Do you want to go next, Bruce?
Yeah, I can do. So I have some great news. So I might have shown you this. I did show you this guy a while ago. The really rapid centre back I got, who had great progression in his first season. He tier broke this season and then almost immediately went up again. Nice. So he's now gone up to a 76. Unfortunately, he's still slow as fuck. Couple of my lottery tickets are doing okay. Jimbo in an Ipswich kit, he's up to an 83. He's getting close to getting to that Lego, which I think he'll ultimately end up at. If we remember the right back I showed you, where he was just getting +1s in his passing, he got another +1 in his passing and went 80, and finally went up an overall. But then he's stopped since. And I'm like, damn, is that it? Is that all he was going to get? But for some reason, I've got it in my head. Like, I can envision, I look at him and I see him as a pink card. Eventually. For some reason, and I don't know why I have this feeling about him. And it's the same with Moskalenko. I look at Moskalenko and I'm like, I just see you as a pink card. You're going to get there eventually. Even though it's like, progression is He's dead. I just see it getting there. So, I'm not holding out. I'm holding out hope for him to keep going. Pugh also went up. Bob Pugh, he's gone up to a 78. He keeps getting stats every now and again. I really need him to start getting physical, I think.
He's quite well rounded, isn't he, for a fullback as
really
well? But to get the stat increases, the overall increases.
Yeah, but he's going up, which is what I imagined he was going to do when I bought him. Other than that, I've had the odd +1s here and there. A few of my lottery tickets are getting +1s, and doing okay. But yeah, again, it's like it's annoying because I know we're coming up to that point now where it's going to be second half of the season, and it's just going to drop off and be absolutely bleh. But raw to rare, as you can see, zero movement at all. He's doing nothing. He might be a bit of a dud. I don't know. He's getting games.
Is he playing?
He's
getting games.
Yeah, he's getting games. The guy's playing him, so fair play to the guy doing it for me. But he's just not moving. I've got a few people like this that are just nothing. Like this guy, Everton Clementino. He's in the development centre, and he came out as a 17-year-old, 53 rated. And now, if this was in the boom, I could have probably sold him for like $40 or something. And he's just done nothing. I have a few players like that, but then I have other players that are, getting stats in the right places and rising. So yeah, we'll see what it's like at the end of the season. But I've got a few that are getting closer to that 84 tier jail, which I'm really looking forward to.
I've got a player to come back to, but it's a DAO-owned player in silver that I've got that I want to show you at the end to talk about that sort of progression thing, because it's bonkers. When it goes, it goes. Has Howe improved at all? Has he picked up any stats?
Nope, nothing. And that's really surprising to me because like he's an 83, he came out as 25, he's now 26. You'd think if he's got progression, he'd probably start moving soon, and he's just nothing. I mean, I'm not going to tear my nose up at an 83 CDM flat, like that's all right, but I would have liked him to get, to a legger, but no movement yet. And he's playing well as well in iron, so I mean, might just be a late bloomer, like my right back.
Hope he is.
My right back's a late bloomer. I know he is. He's going to get to 30 and he's just going to go whah, like so.
Okay, I'll show mine then. Mr. K can show and showcase what he talked about. So I'm really happy with progression this season. So I'll just do last 7 days like you guys did, then the season, then I might do a bit of depth. So I'm really happy with how it's going. So Mr. Eriksson, who's out on loan, I played him as a striker last season instead of as a right wing. I've not checked where he's getting played, but he is literally flying. So started down here at 52. He did really well for me in that season. Didn't go up by a lot, but he still did really well. I mean, he did tier break last season, but he didn't have far to go. But he still kicked on from that, so it's nice. His stats are really nice. Like I say, he can play striker, and I played him as a striker, and he banged a lot of goals for me down in Flint. Obviously, he's playing for these guys now in Flint. So he's obviously still kicking on doing exactly the same. So he's doing well in the last 7 days. And then also, my boy, he's kicking on again. He's kicking on. Nice. So obviously he went right up, laboured out, but now he's back to getting his progression.
It's like monkeys, isn't it? Like they get to 24, they have a little thing, and then they go up again. And that's exactly what happened. Yeah.
Now he's at tier break. So be interesting to see how quick he kicks into 65. You guys will know a bit more about this than me, so I don't know what he needs to do. Probably, I guess, a bit of physical, maybe. I'm not sure.
He probably needs physical. He probably needs physical.
But he's literally my favourite player. Well, one of my favourite players in the club. So to see him kicking on again, I'm obviously going to take that all day long. And then a load of other +2s and +1s. And the Mr. Warren got a +1 this week as well. The raw to rare.
I only won with a dud. Fuck's sake.
yeah.
Question.
So he's kicking on. So
Question before we continue. I saw your screen very briefly. I'm getting a black screen with 3 loading dots. Can you two see what Bruce is showing? I assume you two can see it.
Yeah, I can see it.
Fine. Don't worry about it. Oh, it's now appeared again, and now it's disappeared again. I don't know why he keeps doing it.
He's only doing it when I share it.
It's there. It's like it's on and then off, on then off. Hopefully it's not the recording. We'll find out.
Okay, yeah. That might be our technical issues this week, lads.
Yeah, that could be our technical issues. We'll
I
find
can
out.
see it fine, though. I can see it fine.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
I'm
Yeah,
not-
I see it like briefly and then it disappears again. I don't know what's going on. It's your agency's back and then it disappears again.
I'm not going to
It's weird.
unshare then and share again. I don't think if it's doing that.
No.
We'll just carry on. So then, what I
Sorry.
just wanted to do, no, you're fine, mate. It's absolutely fine. Current season, I'll just go to that just to do it. So
How's your right back doing?
I was just gonna come to that for current
Oh,
season.
right,
So no, you're fine, fine. So he's still got all. Look at these, like lovely,
Nice.
green, and yeah, he's just not done anything in this last week, but he has gone up obviously this season. So he's just not done anything in the last week. But to be fair, he has rotated out more in the last week than he did in the other weeks, because I do a bit like you where they play like 3 or 4 games and then he has to rotate 2 or 3 out. Do you know what I mean, for the right back? So he's not played a lot, which is why Baldwin probably has got a +1 this week, which is like doesn't get much, but it's because he's played most of the right back games this last week, if that makes sense. This guy's kicking on quite nicely as well. He's only young. He's the one we looked at last week, the 20-year-old. So he's kicking on quite well. But yeah, the thing I wanted to show was the dev centre, because I've got quite a lot in the dev centre. I know Mr. K showed it. Getting really good progression on the dev centre. So this guy's got 3 this season, a 2 and a 2. And then obviously most of them are getting some development. Obviously these guys are not. But yeah, I think the dev centre seems to be better to me this season than it did in last season, if that makes sense. I mean, look at him. He's flying up in the dev centre. He's only ever been in the dev centre, so this is be his 4th season in the dev centre. So it'll be his last season in there. So he went straight in there. So yeah, he's flown up, not by lows, but he's flying up this season now. So yeah,
I think if he gets to 54, then it's at least useful.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, yeah.
But yeah, I've got quite a few tier breakers this season as well, and a few more just tittering on the line. I was going to show him, but I'm off it now. But I had someone in one of my teams where he hadn't had progression for a while, then he tier broke, and then a bit like what you were saying, he went up a +2. And that's one of the people in my Rum Lads team. Cool. Yeah, so really happy with that. Mr. K, you want to finish off with showing somebody and talking through that?
So the Dow team that I've got, team was put together for me. It's one of the Dow Women players. This isn't it. This is the cam that I'd started at the start of the season. He was 87 rated. The next nearest cam was 84. Seems like a no-brainer he'd play, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, what would happen is there's a lot of conversation about Dow Women players, how they're progressing, who's like the next, where the gaps are, what they're going to do next and all that. So I'm not going to go into all the dinner details of what they're planning. However, it was pointed out that there was a guy called Avia here, this guy. When he played, he saw progression. If we click on progression, every time he had a season where he started playing, he started ticking up. Hang on, share this tab. Apologies. Every time he played during a season, he started ticking on. He'd get these big spikes in like progression. So it was like, I went, all right, guys. Given like how strong this team is in silver, I'll make him the starter. Well, it's going well. Because what we noticed, and this is the tier break thing I wanted to talk about, because obviously how long we've been around the game compared to how long some of the other guys have been around the game who were in there, it was interesting because I was playing him, he must have played 3 or 4 games and he got like a stat, and then a day or 2 later, another stat. And one of the guys said, because after a game finished, he got 2 stats. He got 1 stat here, 1 stat there. And one of the guys said, as soon as we start seeing more than 1 stat going up at a time, it's like they're going to tier break soon. They're getting to that threshold of they're going to tier break. So we got, like, the following day, he got +2 in 1 stat, +1 in 1, tier broke to 85. But that was about a week ago. So if I show 7 days... 7 days.
That's nice.
He's gone up, in the last 7 days, he's gone up +4. He's got 83, he got +3 pace, +9 in shooting, +1 in passing, +5 in dribbling. He's just suddenly shot up.
His profile page at the minute.
Well, here we go. I'll show you it here.
Yeah, that's cool. Thanks.
Last 7 days, 4 +4, and all the stat increases and stuff over the course of this last week. It was like soon as he hit. So it's like that. If you've got a player who's suddenly starting to pick up a lot of stats over a short period, it seems obvious to play them. But I've been doing it in some of my lower teams. Like if I notice, like I've got a few centre backs low down in for teams, and they might not be the best centre back in my Flint teams. But if I notice they're on a bit of a heater and they get a few stat increases, I'll start playing them more. and they keep that progression up, and then it might slow and tail off. But if you've got those, like your Bruce, you've got a few players that are creeping towards going to be near a tier break sort of situation. It's like as soon as you start seeing a number of stats going up at the same time, it's like as much game time as you can. I basically played a Villa until he hit like 90 or 91%, and then he rested a game, but then he was straight back in.
Yeah,
but he was 84 rated, keeping an 87 rated player out of the team. But he's just, as soon as he hit that, he took off.
Yeah.
With all his
Now
other
he's the
stats.
starter, undoubted.
And now he's the undoubted starter, absolutely. He's 28, he's 88 rated, 28 years old,
Those
99
stats
dribbling.
are amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
but
amazing.
he's had all those really nice upticks. Like his shooting game +9 is bonkers.
Yeah.
It's not like he's been like ridiculous. I don't think he's been lights out recently in terms of general performance. 6.4. It's not like he's lighting the world up, but he's getting it up. So it's just like one of those that when you've got a player who's on a tier break and they start getting a stat or two, play them. Play them. Give them every opportunity to progress, because it's like they're on the cusp of it, because it's like they're just gearing up until they're going to, which was the thing with me looking through my agency, and I was showing you the thing with the MF leaks. I look at some of these players in those green bars, it's like they need a few more stats than they'll go up an overall and stuff. Some of them are miles away, and that's fine, but as soon as you start seeing a few, after a few days, we get one here and we get one there, they're playing. They're playing until I can't play them, basically. And I'll try and shoehorn them in because I want that progression. Because I've got two of my centre-backs that are both 81 rated, but they're on the cusp. So as soon as one of them today went up in something, he's gone up in physical and in dribbling, he's got a +1 in both. So at the moment, he's going to be the starting centre-back, even though I've got three centre-backs basically the same rating. He'll be the one locked in until he can't play for fitness. I just think it's an interesting insight, because how long we've been around, and some of the guys in there have been around since the inception of the game. So it was just really interesting.
I think it's super interesting because I've not thought that. Sorry, Bruce, go on.
No, I was just echoing. Yeah, that is really interesting.
Yeah,
because I wouldn't think that. I just okay, like the bit like that. Baldwin, I just said he's been covering the last week, and I know he's only gone +1, but he's been playing really well, and it's like he's got some of his other stats have gone up. He's only just gone up +1 overall, but his other ones have gone up. It's like, should you keep playing him then? Because I don't do that. I just stick to my rotation.
I think clearly you've got to.
I'm testing it. I'm testing it at Flint because the stakes are a lot lower. But if I've got a centre back, I've got centre backs in one of my teams who are like 55, 54, 56, and one of them's 51. But he's gone up +3 this season. So every time he starts getting a stat increase, he plays, and he's a starting centre back. And I've updated all my tactics, so he definitely starts. And if it doesn't work out, it could just be a coin flip. It could just be circumstantial with that guy. It was just the fact one of these guys who's been around for donkeys, got a big agency, he pointed it out as well and said, he's getting a few now, he's going to tier break soon, keep playing him. And I was like, all right, see what happens. And lo and behold, he just took off. I don't think everyone will do exactly that.
No, but I think you're right, because I'm just looking back at the Ericsson guy that I showed, and he's getting a +2 in pace, +3 in shooting, two in passing, 3 in dribbling, and 6 in defence and playing loads. And he's gone up, and he's obviously gone past his tier break and gone up, hasn't he? There's like literally all those ratings, and he's getting a lot of game time. And if I'm sorting people by those odds, like you've just said there, and I'm looking at the people next, like looking at what they've done, I'm going to have to go through my agency now and see those that are performing. Cause
I've been doing
there is something in that, though. There literally is. And because mine are all similar rating, even though I don't switch them all the time, I do have the ones that are the main starters, which I was saying before, where if I'm against in a big game, they're playing no matter what. So, yeah, you're definitely onto something there.
Go to your agency, look at progression, current season, anyone who's on a bit of a heater, and then narrow it down. So, last 7 days. And if you notice that someone has gone up a few stats, like that left mid I showed you that's 83, I've got enough rotation. There's arguably a better winger because he's got a bit more pace, but this guy's gone up like +2 in a week. He's starting. He's playing every game right now because he might be on a bit of a heater. He might tail off in a week's time. That's fine, but I've given him a chance. And that's how I've been picking my lower league teams, is going, okay, well, how have they got over the course of the last week? Who's improved the most? Or get the most stats overall increase? And if looking down here, Sorrentino, that striker I got from you last season, Root, for a very large price. Bet me over there, 0.01. He's up to 89 rated now, but he's gone up in passing, dribbling, and defence. Helpfully, in this week. So at the moment, he's locked in as a starter, even though arguably I've got a better striker in there who would be 58 rated because it's an out of position thing. But he's the one progressing, so he's getting the shirt. And that's what I'm going to do with those teams now.
I like that. I like that a lot. That's good. That's good. Cool. Right. I think we've covered pretty much everything. I know we are shorter on time than in previous weeks.
I'm going to ruin that because we have questions for the pod, don't we? Because they get asked now in the Discord.
Ooh. Question for the pod.
Is it the question that was in there that I then sent?
I've seen people.
Have you? Okay. Let me look. Okay, well, I was going to say we're ahead of time, which I was going to say was because there wasn't a massive topic of the week this time. Okay, let's have a quick look. Questions for the pod. Oh, right, some more have gone in. Okay, yeah, I haven't seen that. So,
join the Discord, guys.
Join the Discord. Yeah, join the Discord.
There you go. Plugged it, done.
Hoodwinks obviously put not a question and not the pod, but Matt Rife. So
Matt Rife's
I guess
good.
that's.
I like Matt Rife.
Yeah,
he's a very good-looking chap.
He is as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
He is.
I'd
He's a
mentioned
very
that on the
good-looking chap.
Amrezy thing, and I think obviously he's picked up. Yeah, that's where I'd mentioned that one, and then the next one is all the questions in there are from Andrew Q, which is I have a question for the pod. I'd love to hear you guys explain what a DAO is.
DAO.
DAO. Yeah, okay. Thank you. I have no idea what it is. Hence my reply in there was the guy with the eyes going, pardon. I have a very rough idea, but it seems cloaked in mystery. And then 3 questions assigned to it. How do they work in MFL? How many are there? And what measures exist to prevent conflicts of interest at the higher... Yeah, with a few leagues, basically.
Leagues.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, I have no idea. I got a thumbs up for my reply, which clearly I had no idea, but I just went, don't know if it works like that. And then Jimbo's obviously put, Mr. K will know. So you guys obviously know. I don't know.
I was going to say that I know what a DAO is because I'm part of DAOs, but not in MFL, like in crypto. But I suspect the one in MFL works slightly different, and so the only person who's really going to have info on that is Mr. K. But I mean,
do you want to answer like what one is? Yeah, just go. You ask the question. That's the perfect thing to do. If you don't know, when you do that, you ask it. Why not?
It stands for decentralized automated organization, and it's basically there's no CEO, there's no boss, there's no one person. It's kind of like a community, and everything, the rules and things that happen within the DAO are all automated with smart contracts on the blockchain. So, no one has control over it. It's just a smart contract. These conditions are met. Smart contract runs. It does it. Members are usually tokens. They buy tokens. And then depending on how many tokens you have, it's like you get to vote on what the DAO does. And the more tokens you have, the more voting power you have. But I think the best definition for it, it's like a group bank account. But you all have to vote on what you do. Like if you're like, all right, we want to buy this player, we've identified this player on the market, we want to buy him, the DAO will vote on him whether they think that's a good idea, and then if it is, the DAO will use their funds to purchase that player. But like I said, that's how it works. I know, but I don't know if the Ballers DAO works different. I think there's only one in MFL, isn't there? The Ballers DAO.
Before you answer, Mr. K, because I know you're going to dive into it. So what we're saying is it's not something that's like an MFL official thing. It's something that's being
completely
ran
separate
by it, ran separately outside of it. So okay,
Yeah.
So I did because I did like try and do some research to get back to Officer Andrew. So I went, I don't think there's anything like that for MFL. So there isn't officially, but there's obviously something kicking on, which is what Jimbo's then said in the Ballers. Cool, and that was I didn't know any of that, Bruce. That was really helpful. Mr. K,
big thing in crypto. Big thing in crypto.
Okay.
Really big thing.
It's interesting as well because I've had a few people reach out to me and ask questions, which is totally fine. I'd heard of the DAO but didn't know what it was, and it was Bosco who reached out to me basically, say would I be interested in joining? And I said, well, before I say I'm going to join, what is it? And they have a Discord server. I was invited into it. You can't see everything. You can see enough to like the general info, read about it, get a feel for it, see if it's something you're interested in. And what I did is I looked at who was already in, and Jimbo was already in. So I sent a message to Jimbo. I said, look, thinking about joining, I want to know from your take, like, what you find beneficial. And I kind of reiterated similar things because it's been my experience as well. The DAO effectively is an agency that owns a certain amount of players. It has a certain amount of... It earns its own MFL because it loans out its players, and it owns clubs and it loans players to those clubs. So I'm looking after one of them this season. And the overall interest in doing that is to progress and have as best an agency as possible, but it's co-owned. Everyone, as Bruce said earlier, has a token who is a DAO owner. You can have more than one, and every token acts as a voting share. You have one vote per token. The benefits of being in there is, well, you're around a lot of like-minded people who played MFL for the longest time, really invested in it, might have larger agencies, have got loads of experience in different aspects of the game. We all share input and ideas. So, like the insight I was giving you about the progression, that came from DAO, because it's a DAO-owned player. Someone in there who does a lot of scouting and trying to pick up players across the MFL thing. I'm not naming these people on purpose because it's not their business, basically, if they want to be known for doing such things or they want to conduct their own business without me shouting it out on a pod. So I'm not going to go into people's names and who does what. But they identify players they believe might be interesting on the market, negotiate and try and buy them for the DAO. They might buy them themselves with the agreement that, look, I'm going to buy this guy for $100 and then the DAO can buy it for $100. Because I'm buying it on behalf of the DAO, so there's not loads of funds floating around. The MFL at the end of the season, it's voted on what it's spent on in terms of where the DAO has needs. But then anybody in the DAO who has a token can loan from the DAO agency, usually once the DAO-owned teams have A, got a manager, and B, have had their teams built using DAO-owned players or other DAO token holders using players from their agencies. So I've been leveraging that when I've needed it for loaning in players for my teams. That's been the real benefit, to get favourable contracts in doing that, because they sort of, once you get to know each other, you're much happier loaning a potentially valuable asset to someone who you know will look after it for you and meet the conditions of what you're asking for, rather than just tramping your arm on the market and you never know. And also, can you reach out to them? I've been enjoying it for sharing my tactical insights with other managers, pet managers sharing theirs. Effectively, it's just a group of managers who are all very interested in MFL, just working collaboratively to try and make some success out of what they get, and there's a little bit of a potential benefit for you in lots of different capacities. So someone today who reached out, I've actually invited him into the Discord server because you can join as just a general member and just see general things, but you can't see everything, because it's a lot of hidden channels. You have to have a token, and the token's held off-site elsewhere. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I understand it all, because by God, it was convoluted. Me and Bosco trying to work out how he basically gave me his token. That was fun. But yeah, it's a really interesting movement. It's very, very positive, I have to say, the whole thing, because I think anything like this can get a bit people falling out over various different bits and pieces, but it's been very, very positive, my experience of being in it. You jump in and out of the conversations as and when you wish to. As to measures exist to prevent conflicts of interest at those higher divisions with so few leagues. I can't attest to what measures have been put in place for these sorts of things. Obviously, MFL are aware that they exist because they're registered on the site and stuff, but as to how that is all covered under various bits and pieces, I honestly don't know. But my experience from me reaching out and checking things with MFL for various reasons, A, they're always very responsive, and B, they're really receptive to things. They're really open-minded. And even when I've gone, look, I'd like to be able to do this, is that okay? I think I wanted to scrape the site for some data. I wanted to check about TOS. And I can't remember who it was who got back to me now, but basically the short version was, it might have been Yax or Quinton, I can't remember. The response was, that's fine, just don't do it excessively because it puts excess strain on the servers. Totally fine. Thank you for answering. And I've gone to them for a few things and they've always been really, really good about it. I assume a similar thing has taken place here. I can't test it.
To be fair, because like I don't know anything about the BFC DAO other than like what you've said. But what I think I've seen is clubs are owned by the DAO, but then a DAO member gets the club transferred to them to manage for the season. So it won't create any conflicts because
and then
it's owned by the DAO, but it's managed by the BFC DAO agency doesn't manage it, so there'll be no conflicts.
Yeah, it's like actual. Yeah, there's like the BFC DAO is not an individual who's then managing like individual players or a game week by week by week. It's like you say, Bruce.
Collection
it's
of
voted on who's gonna. Yeah, it's big delegation of that exactly. So when I threw my hat in the ring for running the Istanbul team, it was voted on as to whether other members were happy for me to run it or not.
Yeah.
And at the end of this season, there'll be a vote as to whether, if I wish to continue, whether they're happy with that or if someone else wants to throw that. And they do it across many, many different clubs. But yeah, other people managing DAO teams, I mean, you can look this up, but I know, for example, Palmer's running one of them this season. But he's running his own clubs. But the conflict of interest can't exist because if Palmer owns it, like BFC Barcelona are in Plat this season, if Palmer had another Plat team in the same league, they'd move. I had that situation because I made the DAO aware of it. My Silver Club was in the same division as the Istanbul one, but we did it before the leagues were registered for that reason. Before the clubs were given their leagues, and it literally the following day, the Istanbul one was moved to a different league structure to where my current Silver Club is.
Yeah.
So you can't be managing two clubs in the same league. I mean, I'd also argue people could create a situation like that, because if I own a club in my Silver League and another one comes up for sale and I buy it, I own two clubs in that same league. I don't know how that is managed, but that's a conflict of interest. But it's theoretically possible, and I've seen it. But yeah, I'm happy to answer such questions and stuff. I don't think I've said anything that it shouldn't be common knowledge, because if someone does join the Discord server as a non-token holder, there's loads of channels in there that explain things and break it all down far more eloquently than I can do. But yes, that's the deal. So there you go, Root. You know
cool.
what a DAO is now.
Yeah, I had no idea about any of that. I know, Bruce, we had a tongue-in-cheek thing, obviously, in our Discord, so I did obviously do a quick look around. But it was just everything but MFL, so I was like, okay, it was a bit mind-blowing, a bit like what... But the way you've articulated that, Mr. K, and obviously you before that, Bruce, I think proper easy to understand. So hopefully that obviously not only... Go on.
I don't know what he means by it's cloaked in mystery, because I don't think there's any mystery to it.
I wonder
Maybe
if
you
it's
just
all
can't
the facts.
find the information. You
Yeah.
can't find it anyway.
Right,
You have to be
okay.
brought into the Discord server to see the information. There's no information out there. And obviously, most of the people in there, like Jimbo said, he's part of it, but he doesn't talk at it on length on the pod. It's not been a subject matter for the pod, and that's fine. Yeah. I don't know about other members in there who are actively on have this sort of platform to talk about these things. I love the idea of, and I've talked with my Silver Club co-owners, of doing a similar sort of idea but lower down the structure and seeing that. But then he's sort of going down the realm of, well, do we need to do that? And also we've got club delegation coming up soon, so people like your trusts who own so many teams. I know I've spotted Duff's bought a few more clubs this week, because they've been dropping in around the $40, $45, and he's picked up quite a few. And various different structures at the moment. But that lower down the tier sort of structure, having sort of a DAO ownership, but again, it's just trying to navigate the field of making sure you're not breaking any TOS and stuff. It's
To be fair, when Trust, he'll be a centralised rather than a decentralised one. He'll be the same thing as a DAO, just he'll be the owner, whereas a DAO has no owner. It's a collective, but it's just a collection of assets, isn't it, really? And you all share them. You can all use them. But it's all voted on and stuff.
It's interesting, though, because no one really views MFL in the broad sense, and I think MFL do a really good job with this. You don't view it as crypto.
No, not really.
Like blockchain. You don't get the blockchain vibe from it. Because the idea is, realistically, people aren't looking to make profit on assets. It's your engagement with a game.
Yeah.
Effectively. But the blockchain aspect of it is quite separated, I find, from the MFL, so it's not scary for people.
Yeah.
As it were. But yeah, that's what a DAO is. That's what it is.
Cool. Awesome. So it's not a DAO, it's a DAO. Awesome. We'll get that one out there straight off the bat. Thank you for just humouring me, guys. That was awesome, both of you. Seriously, like, insightful just for me from that. And I think, no doubt, once the pod goes out and people hear that at the end, and obviously I've put it in our Discord that it's covered at the end, so people are aware. For those that
Nice.
Andrew. I mean, hopefully he listens to the whole pod, but if he's interested in that part, that'll give him a bit of an insight in there. Is there anything else you gents want to go on?
I just want to point out.
Mate, you want to go all night, you? That's fine.
We're under time, and I've just made sure we are above time. we're well on time for 2 hours. Yes, my target is met. Well done, me. Good job, me. You were ready to wrap up at one.
Yeah, well, no, but I forgot about the questions. To be fair,
fine. Root doesn't give a shit about the community. He didn't want to answer questions.
Right?
To be fair,
Please keep asking your questions in the Discord, please.
No. And that's why, like I said before, that's why there's 3 of us on here. We all keep each other in the places we need to be and making sure we don't miss things in the community. So it wasn't intentional, and I know he'll know that, but I'm glad you picked it up, so that's good. So has anybody other than Bruce got anything else they want to cover?
No, I think we're all good, mate. I think we're all good. But yeah, do keep the questions coming in, guys. Feel free to vote on tactic testing for next week and stuff. And yeah, we really appreciate the support. Obviously, I know you guys get them as well, but the support and the messages that we get both from co-creators and or just general community members, much appreciated, guys. Really, really do appreciate it. And make sure you join the Discord channel. Because Root's rubbish at plugging
also,
it.
Don't be afraid to... Some people feel like, I don't know about you guys, but when I get messaged by people who are like, oh, I don't want to bother you. And I'm like, you're talking to me about MFL, you ain't bothering me, bro. Like...
Root bothers us like 24/7 with general crap, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, you're talking to me about MFL. You ain't bothering me. Trust me.
I'm happy for them to bother you guys as long as they're not taking up my time when I want to bother you. That's all. I'm willing to share some of the time, but I need my attention, remember, guys.
Yeah, sorry we can't reply. Root's on one at the moment.
Yeah, thank you. I'm fine with that. I was going to create a channel just for me in the Discord for my little needs, but maybe that'll come in due course. No, I think
that's Twitter.
I think we've got 30 odd people in there now. Anyway, so
we saw a big join like a couple of days ago. Quite a few people joined up, so please keep joining, guys. The more people are in there, the more conversations will happen. The more. So yeah, it's just an extra community for people to talk about and talk within. Sorry.
Cool. Yeah, more questions that Root can ignore.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So cool. Right. On that note, thank you both for tonight, as always. We'll get this wrapped up, and then we'll comms it throughout the week, I'm sure, and then look forward to seeing what you guys do on the pack drop and the mid-season when we come together next week. So have a great week ahead, and I'll catch you both later.
See you later, boys. Catch you later.